if you can go from Germany that murdered and exterminated 6 million Jews to 10 years later, Germany supporting the state of Israel, I think between cousins, we can definitely transcend within much less time. I think Hamas as an ideology will cease to exist, will cease to have power, will cease to have validity once Palestinians experience a different reality under Israel. Because they're not experiencing that reality, it allows a space for these voices, for these opinions, for these toxic, negative, venomous ideas to exist and to manipulate people's pain and trauma and get them to false conclusions. But the reason this is being fueled is because of the reality of pain. If Israel fixes that reality of pain, these negative ideas and individuals will not be able to abuse and use Palestinians to get them to fulfill their own conclusions. So I think Hamas will be cured from the Palestinian people once we free the Palestinian people, and there's no more ability for Hamas to try to manipulate them from the reality, because the reality will be one of positivity and not of negativity. The Jewish people have had many enemies throughout our history that have tried to destroy us and to wipe us out. We've had the Egyptians, the Babylonians, the Persians, the Assyrians, the Romans, the Greeks, the Philistines, the Edomites, and there's one particular enemy that is seen as the worst of the worst, and it's an enemy called Amalek. And Amalek is an enemy that attacked the Jewish people from behind. It attacked our women and children and elderly, and it sought always to destroy the Jewish people from the most evil intent. But also, we learn from our sages that Amalek hates us because they know who we are. Whereas when we experience anti-Semitism from the world, most people who hate the Jews hate us for who we're not, and they blame us for things that we're not doing. You could look at the death of Jesus, blaming us for the death of Jesus, which we didn't do, blaming us for economic situations and crisis around the world, like what happened in Germany after World War I, leading to the Holocaust, what happened in Spain, leading to the Inquisition, and we experience this reality where anti-Semites come to the conclusion that we're at fault for something that we didn't do. So there's a difference between hating us for who we're not and hating us for who we are. Let's look at Hitler. The Nazis, the extreme of Esav, the extreme of the West, hates the Jews for who they are. Hitler knew who the Jewish people were. He knew that we were here to bring consciousness to the world, to bring spirituality and the understanding that we're all a part of one. And he writes in his book, the Jewish people were brought to bring consciousness, and I was brought to remove it. Hitler, being Amalek, knew who the Jewish people were and hated us for who we were. That's Amalek. When we experience hatred and jealousy and rejection and even attacks and deaths from other enemies, they're usually attacking us for who we're not. Now, if you look at Hamas, vile ideology that wants to kill all the Jews in the world and does horrible attacks, rapes women, kills civilians, horrible. No one is going to pretend that they're not horrible. But if you look deeper, most people within Hamas and most even Palestinians who support Hamas are supporting these movements, have these ideologies because they think Israel is something that it's not. They think Israel is this evil monster from the West that is intentionally trying to hurt human beings, and this is the reaction that they're having towards it. Hatred that we're experiencing from Hamas, it's like, what are you doing? You think you're going to create a better reality for people by killing Jews? They're not seeing, they're blinded by trauma, they're blinded by pain, and they think the source of all their pain is the Jewish people. So all they're doing is reacting and fighting and terrorizing and try to unleash the most amount of pain that they can do to the other side that they think is creating their pain. What we need to do is to correct their relationship, correct their experiences, and to remove these blindfolds of trauma for them to be able to see and to be free and to live in a true reality where they experience justice. And once Israel does that, that's when they'll be able to come together with us. All enemies of Israel have the goal of killing the Jewish people and destroying Israel. But we need to understand that different enemies are coming to that conclusion from different sources. And we need to be able to differentiate, because those who hate us for who we are, there's no peace with them. And those who hate us for who we are not, let's show them who we actually are.